Welcome back to the Unfiltered and Unstoppable podcast. I am your host, Jess Before Dark, and I need everybody to know I am so upset because I just recorded a 15-minute podcast for you, and I had no audio on it. And it's ironic because this podcast was about how I'm noticing that I'm not able to keep up with the daily podcast. Like, I'm noticing that like some days I don't have the time to do it, or sometimes I don't really know exactly what to say. And so I have been thinking lately about moving my daily podcast to a weekly podcast, right? Because and in my original podcast, I explained like that I know when I first started this, the whole plan was to talk daily, and I was really excited for it. I just underestimated how much time it actually takes, like to come up with ideas to do it on the podcast style with Buzzsprout. So we'll go to Apple, Spotify, everything like that. And then also on the YouTube channel. Originally, I was only going to do it as a podcast, but then I was like, no, it'd be cool to like record and do it on YouTube as well and have a whole channel for that. So anyway, I was talking about like how I didn't realize how time consuming it is to, like, you know, make the thumbnails, do the descriptions, do the titles, come up with ideas. And I I talked about how I wanted to drop it down to Monday mornings. I would come up with like a weekly podcast Monday morning rather than a daily podcast where I'm just kind of yapping away on like whatever the random thought it was for the day. And what a wild time. I've never once recorded a podcast and there'd be no sound. So like that was like, oh, and if you're watching on my YouTube video, I don't have any light in my room. So it's now 8:00 at night and I am recording my podcast and I'm like, what the heck? So I am a little bit upset because I feel like I had a good story that I was telling everybody in the original podcast, but we're going to recreate it today. Okay. So I guess with that said, I appreciate everybody that has been listening daily and who has been interacting either on the podcast, listening, or on YouTube. But I hope that everybody understands where I'm coming from in the sense of I'm a little tuckered out with like trying to come up with it daily, but it's not something I want to stop because I'm actually thoroughly enjoying the podcast. I just want to give it the attention that I feel like it deserves. And I think I just need a little bit more time and like less frequency to be able to sit down and say, okay, here's a structured podcast. Something that I'm proud of, right? Like I've gotten an email being like, holy cow, girl, you should write a book. And it's like, that was the most like genuine compliment. I love that. And I would love to do that. That would be amazing to do. And so like, I would need that extra time to even think about doing something like that. But in the meantime, before I would structure that, I would like to see what an actual structured podcast could look like and what benefits we can like get doing that instead, rather than me, you know, turning on the mic and just rambling with you, even though I do think there's been benefits obviously to that. I don't know. I'm just curious to see where that goes, you know? So with that said, the podcast is still up and going. Like we are not stopping the podcast. I am just going to drop the frequency to something that's a little bit more sustainable for me. Especially as like, you know, we've talked about, I've started to learn how to trade. I'm still doing social media. I read a lot, you know, I have my book club. I don't know, everything else between, you know, raising cows, like being married, all this stuff. It's like, and then obviously 75 hard, it's like starting to become like a lot and I want to be good at it, you know? So I don't want to just like half-ass it or whatever the case may be. I actually want to take time to actually put something good together. So with that said, we will be dropping down to once a week podcasts. And again, I'm thankful for everybody that's been around and I hope everybody understands. But with that said, today's podcast, I was excited to talk to you about in my first video. And now whatever, we're going to do it again. Again, I'm reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind. That's the book I'm reading right now for my nonfiction book. It is, we all know I love it because I've been talking about it so much, but it's such a good book to read for a nonfiction book. Like if I could like, please, like consider you to read a book, it would be this one. Like at the end of the day, I would even say it on my other fucking channel that's all about fiction romance books. I wish everyone would read this book. And it's so great because the chapters are so small. I read a chapter a day. It's probably like 10-ish, 15 pages long. The text is big, like, and not only are the chapters small, they're broken up into sections. Like I swear to God, every like page and a half is a new section. And like each section tells you like what he's saying. And then a lot of them have stories. So it will be like, here's the idea. And then here's a story of like it in happening in real life. And so I've heard so many crazy stories. I'm like, that's just nuts, but I believe it. Like I truly believe it. And so, and then also at the end of the chapters, it has a summary and it will be like, here are the key points from this chapter. So like, as you read the chapter, you're highlighting or whatever the case is. And then you get to the end and when you get to pick out what were your favorite points. So when you want to like revisit what you read, it's done so well. Like, I don't know if I was going to write a nonfiction book, like this is takes a cake. Like this is how I would write it. But his topic today was talking about how the subconscious mind doesn't actually know anything about time. Okay. It doesn't know. It knows everything and it has no idea about time. Time is such like, we made that shit up. We made up time. It's not freaking real. Like it just makes us feel better that we know like around what time it is. I don't know. But he talks about a lot of people struggle with manifestation and like speaking things into existence because of the fact of there's time, right? So like someone will say, hey, I told my subconscious that I need XYZ. And he says that the best time to talk to your subconscious, tell it to work on something is right before bed. So like right when you're ready, like to go to bed, you're feeling really sleepy, really drowsy. That's when you want to say a lot of your manifestation and or like if you need your brain to work on something while you're sleeping, that's the time because your subconscious is not going to bed. Tell that bitch to work while you're sleeping, right? Like come up with ideas, come up with solutions, stuff that you can't quite grasp during the day. Tell your subconscious to work on that at night. So he says the problem is a lot of people will say that, be like, every night I've been going to bed being like, blah, 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 whatever it is that I want to work on. And I'll wake up and I have no answer. And the problem with that is like, then people lose faith. They're like, it's not fucking working. It's not fucking working. And it's like, sometimes that takes weeks or months of you like actually saying it, depending on how big the task is, right? While other times, so like you have to be patient, you have to stick to it. But then in the same breath, he says, you also can't tell your subconscious like, oh, I know something's going to take a long time. So like, help me continue to work on blah, 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 blah. Because your subconscious is going to be like, oh, I had the answer. I could have given it to you right now. But like you said, it's going to take a long time. So I guess I'll wait. How long are you thinking? Oh, months? To fix that problem? Okay, I guess I'll wait months to give you this answer. And so how many times have we been sitting there and it's like, oh yeah, it's going to take time. Like when maybe it didn't have to, but we just like assume it's going to, or vice versa, that we want it like right now. And then it's like, oh, if it doesn't happen right now, I'm fucking quitting. I'm done. And so I thought that was just like an interesting thing. And then he also talked about that a lot of times that obviously, like, I think a lot of us can relate to this. A lot of times when you're like in something too deep, you're still working with your conscious mind too much and you're not giving your subconscious mind like time and peace and freedom to give you the answer. So for instance, I like to think about like back when I was working as an auditor, I would be so stuck in the work papers. I'd be reading contracts, reading this, like reading work papers. I'm like, I can't fucking figure it out. Hours and hours and hours staring at something. And I'm like, I know I can figure this out, but it's just not hitting. And I would go for a walk. And it would be like a freight train hit me randomly on the walk. I wasn't thinking about the problem. I was listening to music. I was done over it, right? And all of a sudden, boom, solution hit me. Or how many times have you been like, I couldn't figure something out all day, haven't been able to figure it out, and then now you're getting sleepy, about to fall asleep, boom, something happens again. That happens to me all the time in like content creation. I come up with my best ideas either right before I go to bed, on a walk, or ironically sometimes in the shower. Like I'm washing my hair, not even paying attention, and it's like, bang, this is how you finish that idea. And I'm like, oh damn, okay. And like some of my viral videos have figured out like doing one of those things. I'm not sitting here thinking about it. Some of my worst videos are when I sit down and try to think about them. Like there's a little bit of balance, right? Like the idea has to come so organically, and then I can sit down and start to like kind of write that out. And then those tend to be like the best ones. So anyway, long story short, I was like, I love the idea of not putting a timestamp on anything. Like you just fully believe that it's going to happen. Like everything's going to happen. And ironically, I was scrolling TikTok last night and someone was like, I don't know what she said. She's like, fellow witches, when did you figure out that you were a witch or something? I was like, what an odd thing to ask, but whatever, you know what, to each its own. And all the comments were like, when I realized that like, no matter what, the universe did exactly what I said, no matter what, like I was always taken care of. Like I realized that I had all this power when blah, 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 blah. And every fucking one of those comments were what we've been talking about, of fully believing that the world is just going to take care of you, that there's nothing to be scared about. There's nothing to worry about. Be anxious for nothing. Right. So I thought it was funny. I'm like, we all are trying and striving for the same thing. Everyone's just calling it differently. And some people are saying they're witches because of it. Some people are like calling it faith, full on faith, like in their specific religion. And at the end of the day, it's all the same shit. It's all us fully believing with our subconscious mind that we have everything that we need, every resource we could ever need to get where we want to be. We just have to let it do its freaking thing. Like, let it do its freaking thing. There has never been a time in my life that I felt like I was not going to make it out of something. There's a pure determination. I was like, it's going to be fine. Like, I'll figure it out. No matter what, I'll figure it out. I have always lived that mindset. And I feel like that, like, looking back, that has to be why I always made it out. I've seen rough times. I have seen $3 in my bank account and my mom's calling me and being like, hey, like, you're so broke. How are you going to eat? Do you want to come live home, like back at home? And I'm like, no, I'll figure it out. Baby, I had no idea what I was going to do, but I just knew it was going to work out. And it always did. It always did. So like, I wonder too, I was talking with my friends yesterday about the difference between like type A and type B. And I feel like type A always laughs at type B because they're like, how do you just off a whim? Like, no, but like, I know everything's going to take care of itself. Like, how do you live like that? And it's like, I think they make it work because that's how life's supposed to be. Like, life is not supposed to be that hard. Life is not supposed to be meant like checks and balances and lists and this and stress and this. No. I think we just made it that way. Like, it's not supposed to be that way. And so I think the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that to be true. And it's like, what's meant to be is going to happen. That's not in my control. Like, there's literally nothing I can do, right? You know what I mean? Like, the more you think about it in life, there's literally nothing you can do. You do your best day in and day out. You can't stop the storm from coming. You can't stop the storm from passing, right? It's going to happen regardless. So all you can do is just be open that everything's going to be fine, right? So anyway, I liked it. I love the book. I'm a full-blown hippie now. I'm all about it. But anyway, like I said, I'm so sorry, guys, that I cannot keep up with the daily posts. I don't know if I already mentioned this video or my last video. Like, if you're watching on YouTube, it's like the color of this video is horrendous. I'm so sorry. I look so yellow. But it's late. I'm like running out of time in the day, but I'm really excited to see how this podcast can grow when I actually have time to sit down and plan it. And I would love to bring Ryan on, and once a week I can definitely bring Ryan on. We could do like a little bit back and forth, Ryan, my husband. I've even considered bringing Kels on. So like, I'm excited. I feel like this is going to be such a great move. Just bear with me as we kind of figure out what that looks like. But you guys have got this. Like, I am so proud of you for making it this far. And if you're like, dang, Jess, I love you so much. You could always re-listen to some of our podcasts from the beginning. Cause like, I'm sure there's a lot in there that I've said that I don't fucking remember, but like, maybe there's some good stuff there that maybe circling back could be helpful. But if there's anything, again, guys, if there's anything you want to hear, if anything you want to see, like, please let me know. And I am more than happy to touch on it. But I hope you guys all have the best week ever, and I will see you next time.